I need to put my mic on. Welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to do a currently inked video of what I currently have inked up in my fountain pens and which ones I do have inked up. And then I have a new edition that I want to unveil as well. So let's do the currently inked up. I have these 4 fountain pens. This one is, actually I've got 5, I take that back. I've got a Platinum Preppy in clear with black ink that I always have inked up. And I have this Kaweco from Pilot. And this one is, I think this one is a medium nib. Oops, sorry. I think this one's the medium nib inked up as well. I use this basically to throw into my bags, my EDC, going to work, hacking around town, when I don't want to take one that's more precious to me, or I don't really need to take one for like extensive writing, but I do want to still write in a fountain pen, so I tend to carry this one. So that's got black ink in it, just your standard black ink. I also have this LaCool pen from Sailor, and I think this is the worst Sailor pen I've ever bought in my life. It is a steel nib fountain pen in the medium fine, because that's all you could get this one in on. And I think I've got this inked up with one of the Sailor inks. Like, I like the Sailor ink, and like, let me just zoom in so you can see this one. This one is the Sailor, I think it's LaCool, like this. And this is Tomo River paper that I'm writing with, and I think this is kind of like a Sakura, I think. Sakura, I'm spelling this wrong. Hold on just a second. S-A-K-U-A-R-A. Ink. Love the ink. The ink is absolutely gorgeous. This is a very dry writer. It's gotten better for me as far as a writing instrument, because I took a brass sheet to the nib and kind of made it a little bit wider so it flows a little bit better, because otherwise it was really quite scratchy. But now it's actually halfway decent, but it is a very dry ink. Oh, and even I did make it a little wetter, which is good to know. Yeah, it's writing much wetter than it used to. I used to hate this pen. Now I can say I can actually tolerate it now. Putting the brass sheet in between the tine helped a lot. So there's that one. Also for the fall, let me just do this one. I did this in the previous review. This is the Schuylkill pen from Norwal. I love this pen. I've got a combination ink of Noodler's, let's see, what is it called? Habanero, and another Noodler's ink. So this is the Noodler's ink that I have. I love the ink combination, because what I did is I put one that has a little bit of a red, and this has really nice, I hope you guys can see it, sheening quality to it. Now, I mean, the shading is on it, not sheening, shading. So I actually am really enjoying that for fall. And then lastly, I have my Faber-Castell loom. This is the Faber loom. And this has a fine point nib. Let's see what we've got here. Yep. This is a fine point nib, and it's steel, so there's no flex in it whatsoever. And this has got Faber's olive green in it. And I absolutely love this pen. This pen is a, let me just bring it back out of here. It's an absolute fantastic writing pen. Not horribly expensive. I think it's less than $75, but it's definitely one of my favorites, and the only probably favorite pen I'll probably really think about getting. Now for the reveal, and I'm sorry, I'm hot. It's 70 degrees outside, but it's like 78 degrees in my apartment for some reason. Okay, so for the unveiling, or unveiling, I was in Jenny Blick the other day. This is my birthday month, and I stopped by here. I shouldn't have, but I did anyhow. I was looking for actually a particular ink. I did find it, but I don't want to get as large as the size, and I forgot Jenny Blake does not do samples at all. But I was in there, and to my surprise, I found a new Kaweco. And it's not a Kaweco Sport like I normally have. I have two Kaweco Sports, but this one is the Kaweco Dia 2. And it's a fantastic pen. This is what it looks like. I love the fact that the finial, although this one is kind of curved at the tip, it's relatively flat down here at the bottom. It's got a little bit of a spike on the dome here at the tip of the finial, but for the most part, kind of flat. They've got some ridges here into the top part of the finial, as well as it mimics down here at the bottom part of the finial. Center cap band in gold accents. This clip for, oh my gosh, this clip for Kaweco, very extremely stiff, almost to the point where it's probably not usable. And you know, I think you could still get it in and out of stuff, but it's going to take a level of effort because it's just really quite tight. This is a cartridge and converter filled fountain pen. I got this one in the fine point nib. I'm going to try to do this way. I'm sorry, my thumb is still acting weird even though it's untaped right now. I'm really upset with Kaweco. I like their products, but I wish for, this is the converter. They didn't give me the converter. I just happen to have extras from having sports. This is the world's smallest converter. I mean, it will hold, I mean, really, Kaweco? I mean, really? You got a body this big and you're gonna give me a converter this size? Product marketing. That is my one complaint with Kaweco. It's just like, don't be so stingy on your converters for that, because it doesn't make any sense to have a body this big with plenty of room. And I think this one has, there was a cartridge in here. It came with one little tiny International Short standard cartridge, and of course I kind of almost always kind of trash them and throw them to the side because I find them to be kind of useless. But this was the little tiny and it's a navy blue little cartridge that they put in there. So there's that. Otherwise, since I bought it in a store, there's no additional packaging, no warranty information underneath this standard little tin. But I do actually really do like the tin. I think that's pretty cool. Just the longer version of which you can get with the sports, but still I really do appreciate it. So now I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to ink this fountain pen with. And just as a comparison, I don't normally do these kind of comparisons. Uncapped, that's that pen. Let's compare it to the Norwal uncapped. And almost the same size. And if I compare it to an uncapped version of the Pilot Kakuno, let's put it like that. It's a little shorter than that. And then let's compare it to the Loom, since I seem to have all these here. So that's what they look like in size and height differences. I don't know what the weights are. I'm not going to measure. I think you could probably find somebody out there, if you're into that kind of stuff, that will probably tell you the measures of the Langs capped and uncapped. This feels very, very well in hand. It's got a nice feel to it, and it's kind of slender, especially when you compare it to the Pilot Kakuno, where that's a student pen, so they want you to have a better grip. I think this has got the right amount of weight. You can post this if you find that you have larger hands. I do like to post my pen caps just so I can keep track of them, but I can also use this unposted quite well. So there's that. I've got a couple of inks here that what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip to see which one I want to use. I was thinking initially, when I originally started to do this video, I would use the James Purdue and Son that Pins and Tees always talks about. I finally got my hands a hold of the James Purdue and Son single malt. It does smell absolutely fabulous. It does smell like you're smelling whiskey or a bourbon. It's a beautiful orange brown color. I'm going to just dip this in here and give you a writing sample. I don't want to have to totally clean this out, but here we go. And let me zoom in so that you can see this. This is such a nice writing experience. It's crazy. I just really like this by Mont Blanc. I was kind of surprised. When I was in the store, I was looking at, I was looking at another pen, and I really did think, out of frame again, I did think that I wasn't going to buy one, but when I put this in my hand and started writing with it, it was actually a very satisfying experience. So I ended up going ahead and going for it. It wasn't my intention necessarily to buy a fountain pen. I was looking actually for just browsing purposes and killing time. But I just decided that I wanted to get this. This pen is a fantastic writing experience. So the price point. The price point for this pen, I think, was right around, I want to say $160 US. You might be able to find it on other places a little bit less expensive, but I just thought, you know, I was there, I was supporting a local business, so I didn't mind going ahead and doing that. But it smells absolutely wonderful. And I will flush this out completely before I fill it again. Hold on just a second. My nib unit is coming unscrewed here. Just trying to clean this out to try the other one. So that is ink number 1. I already do have an orange color inked up, so I'm kind of a little reluctant to do that, but I am into right now writing in fall colors, so that's very appealing to me that I have colors that are reflective of fall. I had the Laban inked up previously, and that was great because it was a reddish color and it was absolutely stunning. Okay, so I've got over here, I'm looking for my little shot glass because I'm using ink samples now. Diamine Sepia. I'm going to dip this in here and see how this writes really quick, because I think it's between these two inks. Let me just make sure I don't have a lot of stuff around the grip. Oops, I think I still have, hold on just a second. Okay. Sorry. Try this again. Okay. I'm finding that this color, and I just want to know if you guys think the same when you take a look at this video, this color seems kind of pale and kind of washed out. I was hoping for it to be a little bit more punchier, and I'm finding that it's not as punchy as I was hoping it to be, which is a little bit disappointing. I was swatching this in my ink swatch book last night, and I thought that maybe the reason why it wasn't is, okay, I know I'm just dipping the pen into the ink, but it still should be picking up enough of the ink to give you a better, richer sample of the sepia than it is. But it looks like that is not the case. So I'm kind of disappointed with the sepia from a writing perspective, but I'm thinking about going ahead there's a couple of other inks that I was trying last night, and they were all diamine, and the colors weren't that punchy. And I think what I'm going to end up doing with them is going ahead and using them for washes and watercolor paints. So I think that's what I'm going to use that for. I'm going to not put that into the pen. That just ruled itself out. And lastly, I've got the Pelican Edelstein Smoky Quartz, and I loved this color when I saw it last year, and I haven't really written with it because I got it right after fall was over, and I didn't get it in time to like use it for the fall season. I know you can use your inks any time of year, but I do like to use some of the inks I do like to use seasonally. So I'm going to just wipe this nib off over here on a separate sheet of paper towel, and then I'm going to come down here and do the sample. So this is Pelican Edelstein. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm in frame. Smoky Quartz. Ah, I like this color. This color's fantastic. Let's see here. This is a nice, not overpowering brown color. Really beautiful. I think actually this might be the winner. Or it's gonna be the James Purdue and Son. Because that's more like a brownish red compared to my orange. So let me just zoom back out here. So I actually do like the James Purdue and Son, and I like the Smoky Quartz. I'm almost done with the School Q pen. I'm just waiting for the ink to get done. I do know, I forgot to write down what my inks were, but I know it's Habanero and it's another one. And I can't remember, and it's driving me nuts right now. But I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and put the Smoky Quartz in on it, because there's so little ink that this thing holds. I can probably go ahead and get to the Mont Blanc at a later date. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this up right now with the Smoky Quartz. So let me just get a syringe pinned out here. This probably only holds like a milliliter of ink at best. So I'm going to just kind of suck some up here. Take this little plunge converter off. I really do find the Kaweco converter laughable and kind of sad. For as much money as you spend on a pen, you actually do want to have a really decent reservoir ink, but I guess when they say you put the plunger all the way out, you have room for it. I think that's probably the logic behind it, but I think they really need to redesign their plunger. Because it just makes sense. I mean, everybody else can do a larger converter. I don't know what gives with Kaweco. And they're usually much better, I think, at stuff like that than I give them credit for. But in this case, I request that they think about the re-engineering of their converters, because that's just crazy. Ah, there we go. Ooh, and it inked up quick. I think that's the fastest refill inking I've ever had. This is fantastic. All right, so I'm going to say that this is, I love this pen, and I think that if anybody's looking for a Kaweco that's not a sport, this is a fantastic addition to your collection. I think you should check it out. Jenny Blick is online. She's mostly on the East Coast, though, in the United States. I'm sure if you guys did a search through other websites, and if I can find some that are both in the US and the United States outside of Jenny Blick, which I will still include, I will put them in the description below. If you liked this video, please give it 2 thumbs up. If it's your first time stopping by, thank you so much for checking out my channel. Please hit that smash button if you liked it, and subscribe for more content. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your support and all the positive affirmations. All right, guys, it is Tuesday, October 19th. Have a good one. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.